My name is Darrell Thornton. I'll be acting as the counselor today. This is Mr. Smith, who'll be acting as teacher. We're doing a collaborative consultation about students' behavior in class. Mr. Smith, thank you for your email.
Of course.
And your concern for our student named Robert. What concern do you have?
Well, since after the first week of school, Robert has been a constant disruption in class. He doesn't really seem to control himself. I've done a few things with him, and it's been about 2 weeks now, and there's still no improvement.
So is he disrupting? Is he throwing things in class? Like what is disruption? What's it look like?
No matter where I move him in class, he seems to be able to strike up a conversation with anybody. Even if people don't want to talk to him, he still talks to these people anyways. I think he likes to hear himself talk. And when I'm teaching or giving instruction in class, this is a distraction that I don't appreciate.
Yeah, I understand. That can be very, that's disturbing to, the students as well in the class and that. So pretty much his problem is there's a lot of, outside talking, maybe blurting out answers.
He does this as well, yep.
There's that, okay. So when is this behavior, when did it start? Has he been doing this? Like, we're midway through the semester, so has it been always like this, or?
Sometimes he seems a little bit more tired, since it's an early morning class. Sometimes when he's tired, he's not as disruptive. But if he gets enough sleep, and a lot of times I think it's when the material is difficult. He doesn't want to focus and try hard on the difficult material, and he likes to distract himself. And when he distracts himself, he's distracting others. And it's not always the other people's fault. It's usually Robert's who initiates the distraction.
Okay, so when is there a time that Robert is, you say non-disruptive in class?
He has his moments. If everybody is working independently and quietly working, Robert will maybe keep to himself, but he might not distract others when everyone's working independently, but he won't be working himself. He'll just kind of sit there and kind of stare off into space. So when he's not a distraction, he's also just not doing work as well.
Okay, get that. So on a given day, when Robert walks into class, are you able to see like, this is going to be one of those disruptive days or one of those calm days? Are you able to tell? Because I remember you were stating that, sometimes he may have that tired look, may look lethargic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And some days he might look like he's more energized. So are you able to tell that?
I see where you're going with that. Every day when I'm standing next to the door, when everyone's walking in at the beginning of the period, I always talk to Robert in the beginning, say like, hey, I tell him what we're gonna do for the day, like, kind of give him a heads up so he can have some kind of task to do right when he gets in. Some days he works really hard, but either if it's 10 minutes in or 20 minutes in or 30 minutes in, he'll still make his presence known or make a distraction.
So I'm trying to break it down so would it be like would it be like the beginning of class, or does he come in always loud and already ready to disrupt?
Not always. In the beginning of the semester, yes, definitely. I moved him around, and then actually I had to send him to OCI. And then after that, he wasn't really so disruptive at the very beginning. He used to come in and just be a huge distraction at the beginning of the period. But after a couple sessions at OCI, he seemed to act up, and I could see him try to bottle it up, as long as he can. And there's days that he has good. It's not every single day.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. So is there a time, like, is it like you said, if you had that from your evaluation of Robert, was it downtime? Where is he more extreme to, engage in these behaviors? Is it when you're lecturing or?
Okay, so yeah, there's times when I'm lecturing and he'll start a conversation with someone, and since he sits up in the front of the class, because I had to move him at the front of the class, it kind of disrupts the rest of the class because we get in the middle, in the front of the class. He's good then. At times, when I do group work though, and maybe I have him in a group with like 4 other people, and then I have to walk around the class to make sure everyone's on task. And if I'm on one side of the classroom and Robert's on the other side, most likely Robert's going to be a distraction and not do what he's supposed to be doing.
Oh, so definitely, so your proximity kind of alters the way he goes about
Yeah,
disrupting sometimes.
especially during group work when when I have to roam the classroom and I'm not near him. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like for the most part, the problem that Robert has is like, more or less talking loud in class, you know what I mean? Just be impulsive, you know what I mean? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Where he can't feel like he can't control himself, you feel like sometimes? I mean, you say he tried to bottle in sometimes where he wants to so bad, but like he can't.
He likes to be the class clown as well, so it's never anything mean.
Right.
He's not like violent in any way. He just he finds inappropriate times to be a distraction,
Yeah, so
and he knows when it's inappropriate.
Like a freshman, a little immature, something like that.
Yeah,
but
probably
also,
because
trying
he's
to
a freshman now.
Okay, trying to control that. So so I'm going to identify the problem, just like so him just talking out and just doing those things. So I think we have a firm understanding of the problem that the problem behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I think you said Robert's a good kid. Just
Yeah.
picks the wrong time to and disrupting
He
others.
needs to grow up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some things that you said you tried moving his seat. So
Yes, I did.
Did that change the frequency or of him
Yeah,
learning out by him sitting in the front?
At first, that was the first move, to move him to the front.
Okay.
He does have a couple friends in the class, and they sit far away from him. In the beginning, when I first moved him, he would start conversations with people across the room.
Okay, still to the friends.
To the friends, yes,
Okay.
yes. I had to send him to OCI 2 times before he finally stopped making that kind of the crossroom disruption.
So we went to OCI, which is on campus. Intervention, right?
On-campus intervention.
So,
Yeah.
So he came back. How long did his behavior? Did he stop burning out?
Yeah, across the classroom he stopped that. Yeah. And then he became friends with the people next to him.
Okay.
Even though he didn't really know him in class, but now he makes friends very easily. It's kind of a funny guy. So now I'm having to deal with those
So pretty
distractions.
much he just changed. He continued the same behavior, just changed. So
He
maybe
makes
blurring
friends.
out on the other side of class maybe bad, but maybe I can talk to my partner a little more.
Yeah.
He likes to he likes to chat. A very like I said social guy. Okay. Have you ever discussed the expectations you have for Robert? Like in class, have you had a one-on-one where kind of explain to him like this not really hurt my feelings, but this this makes me feel bad when you behave this way, or just let him know how you actually feel.
Yeah, usually before I send kids the intervention, or when you kick
For
them out
OCI?
for the OCI, I always take them outside, have like a one-on-one conversation with them outside in private, just so that he knows that I can respect his privacy, and so I always go with that first, and students usually respect that, and but there's always maybe another day that he'll go 2 or 3 days in a row, and then he'll just
Okay. So how did Robert? So he responded well to the one-on-one.
Yeah, he responded well to the one-on-one.
But still, that problem still came up as far as that. Or still speaking out.
The biggest thing is him probably not working when I want him to work.
Okay.
So after, especially during the group work.
Okay, so we're doing group work. So in group work, he's probably more distracted because he wanted to talk about all kinds of things. So he probably enjoys the social part. Like you said, when he's an individual, that's when he shuts down and won't do anything because now he's just he can't react with anybody else. So isolation definitely doesn't work for Robert's case for the most part.
I guess you can say that. Yeah, I guess you can say that for sure.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just trying to come up. What are some things that I'm trying to think of some things we could probably do to help Robert? Because say he's a good kid, very sociable. So I'm trying to think what do you think? What things we haven't tried? You tried parent contact. Matter of fact, before we.
I did try teleparents, but that doesn't really work. Parents never call back.
Okay. And from my understanding, Robert's bilingual. I think you have a Spanish household, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the teleparent is where you put in some code, and then there's an automatic voice in Spanish that tells them what the problem is.
Okay.
But because my Spanish isn't fluent, so I can't have that conversation with their parents.
Okay.
And then there's never a return phone call either. I've tried email whatever email that they gave me, I've tried that, and then no response.
So you've done your due diligence trying to get in contact with Robert's parents.
Yeah, I'm hoping to meet Robert's parents during parent-teacher conference next week.
Yeah, I think that'll be a huge step. So Robert's parents are aware. Mom and dad are aware of just the behavior, just so they give some background information on Robert. Like, how does he act at home, so we can understand like more what he's doing is just your class or just when he's at school.
Yeah.
So I know that would probably be some great advice from parents. Doing that, so then I'll try and set that up where we can meet with Robert's parents.
Sure.
Meet you, and I'll have a translator there to try and help it
to
out.
be there, yeah.
I know Robert speaks English, but most of from our community, most of our students are Spanish or not first language English speakers. So
correct.
Okay. What about as far as Robert? Like, is there anything where we can? So when he blurts out answers, does he have a correct answer, or he just blurts out anything funny?
Good point. You know what? Shoot. When Robert knows the answer and it's the correct answer, yeah, he'll blurt it out, and I'll tell him that he's proud of him. But please raise your hand next time.
Yeah.
But sometimes he just blurts out like funny responses that he knows is incorrect. Yeah.
Okay.
And kids will have a little laugh about that because it's high school humor. So sometimes I try to play it off like, that's a good one. But sometimes it's just an inappropriate time. So I gotta let him know. I mean, it depends on my mood as well as his mood, I guess.
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. But you think that so is Robert? Do you think Robert grasps the the subject and the material, the curriculum?
When he's motivated, I feel when he sees his grade drop, and I update grades at least once a week. So when he sees his grade drop significantly, like below a C, he'll work harder for me to bring that D up into a C. But once he sees it turn to a C,
he gets satisfied and he's back to being okay.
Yeah, and it's just funny. I mean, I see students like that all the time, and I don't know what to do with them except for just keep dropping their grade,
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of something that maybe it'll be more. You'll probably have to carry out more than me because you see Robert, every day. Just some type of incentive, like, all right, call him Robert. Even when he's wrong, like, give him some encouragement, like, good job, Robert. Just Robert, Robert answer his question. You direct it to some person, Robert, something that you already know that he may know based on his test scores.
Yeah. Throw him a bone.
Yeah, throw him a bone a little bit. Like, hey, Robert, I'm gonna let Robert answer this question, guys. So, Robert, hey, think about this question, and so give him time, and so Robert come up. So therefore, he can be like, oh, he's ready to talk. He can blurt it out. So he won't blurt out things like, Robert, it's a question for you right now, Robert. So he knows he's on the spot, and something he probably knows. So therefore, more confident about. And then
sure, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Then another thing we can do, like, is it, like I said at the beginning, like maybe you see Robert getting a little antsy or anything, just like, hey, Robert, would you like to go get some water? Just get some of that restlessness out. We'll take a water break, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The last time that might work, you know what I mean? Because he just has to do something, he gets fidgety, so he has to do something.
Yeah. And it's nice when he leaves the classroom from time to time, too.
Yeah, sure. So we so those things that we can try.
Okay. I'd be looking forward to talking to the parent, with the translator, that'd be great. Probably my next step.
Yeah, so we can do that, and then the way we can be able to like gauge if it's helping or not is like either you could say one day you come in and you have paper clips, right? So you got paper clips in your pocket, like say you have 10 or maybe 20, depending how much you feel Robert blurts out in a given day. And so if you have them in your left pocket, every time he blurts out, just put it in the right. In your right pocket, you just kind of like count for the week and for the daily, and count to see what strategies are really working. Because with any intervention, any progress is good progress. We want to see any progress. It's not going to be night and day.
Sure.
So let's see what kind of works. Like I said.
Okay.
But we still need to be with mom to figure out what if this behavior he does at home and do other things. But maybe having a break, like I said, throwing Robert a bone, let him get a chance to speak.
Yep.
And then you said you do a lot of group work. I was thinking like group work. What happens to group work? Somebody's always the writer. Somebody's always the reporter.
Okay, I can
have Robert be the reporter.
Okay.
Maybe because he can't handle writing or sitting there still.
Yeah.
So let him be the talkative guy and be the reporter. I think that would work wonders made for Robert.
Sure.
And then socially, he'll feel like he's a captain, a leader.
Yeah.
So that help out with self-esteem as well. So
that's something that I don't do during group work is give people individual jobs. So that'll be a good change for Robert.
You know what I mean? And then maybe I don't know if you have like a draft or you can create the groups according to how each of them work or whatnot.
What do you suggest in terms of like group dynamic?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe have Robert with a group that is steady. You don't have a group that's too steady because Robert's social and he'll try and throw them off. But get a group, not too much with his friends, where just too much back and forth. But
sure. Like maybe like a strong student, and then maybe like a student that's not so social.
Right,
maybe,
because you know normally like peers learn from peers, so you know
Sure.
if you're around people that are doing the work heavily, then he
Yeah.
might start adapting what they're doing, even though he's still going to be impulsive, want to do stuff.
Yeah.
But they'll be able to kind of like, hey, Robert, do this.
Yeah.
You're trying to see it, because you know a lot of kids they want to fit in. So whatever their situation they're in, they're trying to fit in. So he might, shut up, but then still understand that Robert used to pass. He does that, and like I said, just. Praise him when he's doing that. Like, hey, after school, you don't got to do it in front of everybody. Like, hey, Robert, let me talk to you after class.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, man, you did a good job today, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gave the answers, and you weren't blurting out, weren't disruptions.
Sometimes I forget to do that too.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
praise works a lot too, and just let him know that he's progressing, because like I said, we'll talk to him. You talk to him one-on-one. Like, I really enjoy the way that you have, your behavior has changed since we have talked. So I think that would do wonders for Robert too. So I think we can start there with those simple things. Just, I guess fixing the group, having if he needs a restroom, kind of like, hey Robert, you want to go take a walk? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need a little time, or however,
Okay.
And like I said, you could time it. If he's taking too long, just time it. Like, see how long he takes getting water.
Okay.
And doing that stuff. And like I said, if not, the paperclip thing is extreme, having paperclips all day.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you have to make notes on the board, like write a little line or anything you have to do, or a little note on a piece of paper, just so you can calculate. They're like, what are you doing? Nobody needs to know.
Yeah.
You're doing it. It just looks so subtle of you doing it. So I think that'll work, and then we'll come back and then we'll see what's going on, and then I'll come in and I'll actually watch Robert one day for the whole period, or to see how he acts. If I act different,
That'd be
I'm
great.
there.
Yeah.
Most times, students will, when they see somebody new, they'll act, the best behavior.
Yeah.
But then as the day goes on, they'll start implementing their, their old behaviors or their natural habits.
Yeah.
So therefore, we'll try that out and we'll go from there. But thank you for letting me know about Robert, and I said that you've been trying to figure out ways to help them.
Yeah.
And that's our goal here as educators, to try and help the students, reach academic achievement. And so once again, thank you, and hopefully this worked out for Robert.
Thank you.
All right.